Welcome to Rodeo Insider, of course, with Alanna Nolan. Now, Alanna, let's talk a little bit about animal safety during the Calgary Stampede. It's always a hot topic. Where do we get started this year? I know there's been a couple rodeo changes for the safety of the animals.
Yes, and the biggest one is the barrel racing. We might have noticed it looks a little bit angled, and it is, in fact. They've done that so that the barrel horses, last year and in past years, that left barrel, the closest to the grandstand, has actually been in the same spot as where the Chuckwagon track happens. Okay. So what was happening is the barrel closest to the chutes would be nice, loose dirt, right, and then the barrel closest to the grandstand would be kind of harder because of those Chuckwagon
packed down, thus slippery.
Yeah, okay. Well, packed down but harder, and those horses have to adjust, right?
Okay.
So in short, they've angled the pattern so that now all of the ground is even, and we saw some pretty fast times yesterday, except for a little bit of a slip on day one.
Right, a little bit of a slip by Fallon Taylor. So she decided to take a no time because her horse slipped. Tell us about that.
Well, she did the right thing. She woed up, stopped, and you can see her because she grabbed her chest like she was going to have a heart attack. And that's not because she was worried about her safety. I know Fallon very well. She was worried about baby flow, and she said it best. She said, "That's my baby. That is not the reason I make money. That is not, you know, my money maker in breeding or in racing or in anything else. That is her. That's like her child to her." And that is pretty much the theme around here with every competitor.
Okay, and now some people still don't understand how important these animals are to the rodeo competitors. What can you tell us about that?
Well, I mean, all you have to do is walk back into those Chuckwagon barns and you see the care that is given to them by the Chuckwagon drivers, the barrel racers, the timed event guys, and even in the rough stock. You see the pickup man taking care of them, and then the chute guys. The only thing they're worried about is those horses having the best trip and getting the best care that they possibly can.
Okay, and for people who don't maybe understand exactly the way it works, the Calgary Stampede does offer an opportunity for people to come down and get more educated in terms of animal safety, don't they?
I'm not saying everybody has to be a rodeo fan. I'm not saying everybody has to be a Chuckwagon fan. All I want you to do is come and learn about our sport. And the Calgary Stampede gives you the excellent opportunity of doing that with rodeo chute tours and barn tours. Anybody can come. It's in the infield. You just have to request. They will take you back behind the chutes during the rodeo. You can see these animals in there and see that they are not in distress, that they are not in pain, that we are not hurting them. The University of Calgary actually does a study here every year with those animals, and they're using infrared sensors and heat to see whether or not what's happening with those animals in their body and their body temperature, to see whether or not they are in distress. Right. And all of their studies have found that we are doing the absolute best possible care for these animals.
And they are checked out by veterinarians right here on the ground.
Every animal on this grounds is checked. Okay. Right before the Chuckwagon races, the vets go into the barns. They make them trot up and down the shed road to make sure that they're moving okay. If they're not, they'll doctor them out. And the drivers appreciate that. These horses are huge investments. Right. And same with the bucking horses. Like, they're looked after as well. These bucking horses, they're about $10,000 as soon as they hit the ground as babies. Okay. And then they spend 4 years out in the ranch getting fat, and then they buck. So, I mean, these are huge investments. So something like a Stampede Warrior who, is going to be used for breeding down the line, that's easily a $250,000 horse. Not sure we want to wreck that investment.
No, absolutely not. As always, Alanna, thanks for the excellent information. And as you suggest, get your facts. Do a shoot tour, get all the facts on the sport of rodeo. We're going to have more with Alanna tomorrow on Rodeo Insider. Be sure to check her out each night for the rodeo show by Ranchman's. It's Alanna, Grant, and you got Tim Edge as well in there. Then right after that, you can check out the Chuckwagons, and they got Mike LaBelle, Grant, and Alanna. So great people who know what they're talking about. They're having a good time. We're back with more. Saddle up in just a second.